Today I want to talk about the 5 different levels of wealth. I think everybody has their own goals and places they want to get to in life. And this is kind of my way of categorizing where I want to be and also asking people in my sales company, hey, which one of these do you actually want to be? Because a lot of people think they want to be a level 5 when they really only want to be a level 2 or 3. My name's Zach. I run a solar sales company that does over $50 million a year in sales. And I want to break down for you all these 5 different levels. So let's get right into it. Rich is not just rich. There are levels to the game. And I kind of have a good way, I feel like, of looking at this. And I really use this just to ask people where they want to be. Because I think a lot of people, like I said, they may really only want to be a level 1 or level 2. And if your work ethic doesn't line up with the level 4, number 5, then maybe you have to change your desire or your work ethic, one of the two. So anyway, let's get into the first one. Level 1 I call top shelf. These are the people that their life feels good. They live a little bit of they live a comfortable life. They probably make somewhere around $250,000 maybe $500,000 a year. They're like the top 5% of US earners. They got a nice home, they got nice cars, they have a solid 401k, they got good retirement, they take a vacation or 2, maybe 3 every year. Like, they live a good life, but they're not like so outside of everyone else that they're in a different world. They live a good life. They enjoy life, they make nice things, or they have nice things, and they get to live a solid life. Level 2 is what I call the VIP class. VIP, the step up difference here is that you may now go from having nice cars, nice house to you probably have a second home. You got a lake house, you might have a condo, you got a mountain cabin. You not only now own stocks and 401ks, you may own multiple pieces of real estate, you may own percentages of companies. And instead of driving like a nice Mercedes, you're probably driving around in like higher end McLarens or Ferraris if you're into that, or maybe they have it stashed away. But on top of that, they may start to have like a private chef here, or like personal assistants. And so now you're in a game where you're starting to have $5,000 to $10,000 a month spent on people literally like to take care of your life. Private chefs, people doing laundry, maybe a housekeeper. And so you're in this new class. I think for a lot of people, this is where the majority of the human race actually wants to be. They don't want to be up above this. You want to drive nice cars. You want to have a nice house, potentially 2, maybe a lake, maybe a beach house. You want to be a member of a private golf club or a country club. And that's really like the height of most people's experiences. You're out of a lot of like the day-to-day stressors. You're very comfortable in life. You can send your kids to private school. This right here, this VIP class, is I think the level where the majority of people want to be in. Level 3 is what I call the untouchables. This is where money stops being about things and is more about freedom. You don't just buy nice stuff, you completely buy back your time. Meaning you have probably an estate manager. You probably have a primary home plus probably like a secondary and third home. You have $500,000 watch on your wrist. Your kids go to private school. You have pretty much like a frictionless life. You have a full-time staff. You have people that may even drive cars for you. You probably have a driver. You may even be able to fly private. You just charter the jets. You have generational wealth where you're starting to put tens of millions of dollars away. This is like that next level that 0.01% of people make it to, where they're buying a lot of things. They own time. They own their own freedom. And they can, basically, let's put it like this. They can spend $50,000 on a private jet and they don't even feel it. It's a rounding error. It's not even like a thing in their world. And so this is level 3. This is what I call the untouchables. I think some people think they want this, but they don't know what it takes to get there. And so like level 1 is probably around $1 million net worth. Level 2 is like $1 to $10 million net worth. And level 3, the untouchables, is like a $10 to $50 million net worth. Level 4 is the empire builders. Level 4 is now you are starting to own the game. You actually own a private jet. You actually own a yacht. You have multiple houses that are maybe 10,000 square foot or more. You have a full-time staff. You may own farmland. And so these people are like creating whole industries. They have empire building. They're making multiple millions of dollars a year, if not tens of millions of dollars a year. They have from a $50 million net worth to like a $500 million net worth. This is a large disparity of people, but they're now focused on impact and legacy and power. This is where you start to, I feel like, get into a new game where it's no longer about freedom and creating generational wealth. Now you're looking to have power and have legacy and have impact. You may build a school for people. You may change an entire city. You may start to change state politics. Like, you actually make an impact on more things than just your wealth in your pockets. You are affecting multiple people on a broad scale, and this is the empire builders, I call it. I think a lot of people actually don't want to be here. I think this is like the top 0.001% where you have a lot of responsibilities and stress. It's not easy to manage $100 million. That's a crazy number. You need multiple different bank accounts and houses and estates and staff and things. Like, your rolling expenses to live are now in the multiple six figures a month. And then level 5 is what I call the puppet masters. I actually got this saying from Iman Gadzhi, who was on YouTube a while ago, or still makes YouTube content, but I learned this from him. There's really only about 3,000 people in the world who are in this level. This is like the multi-billionaires. This is like hedge fund managers, Bezos, Musk, Gates. These people are worth all north of $500 million to $1 billion. The thing with these people is they're actually designing the game. I think at level 3, you're breaking out of the game or the matrix that people call. The people at level 5 create the game. They pay politicians $100 million a year to make rules or things around them. These people can send out one tweet and it can change the market by billions and billions of dollars. Elon Musk smokes a blunt on Joe Rogan podcast, and it does a $20 million swing in the market. If Jeff Bezos were to tweet right now, buy XRP, XRP market cap would change by $50 billion because one person said it. And so these types of people, they create reality. This is the best way to put it. They literally create the reality of the world. Their decisions, their thoughts, what they do, change the entire country and the entire world. This level is a level, like I said, 3,000 people on earth probably are at this level, are in the billionaire status. And most people do not want this. I think the majority of people cannot handle this and also don't want this. The thing that nobody talks about, I feel, is a lot of people want a private jet or want this kind of lifestyle where you can impact the markets. But the thing is, when you look at a menu when you're at a restaurant, there's the item and there's the cost to that item. And just like these levels, there's a cost to being at that level, and then there's actually what you get at that level. Level 5, to become a billionaire, to get to that place where you are impacting the world, takes 20 to 30 years of sacrifice. It takes 60 to 80 hours a week at minimum. It takes huge risk and decisions. You're usually going to risk hundreds of millions of dollars buying a business or putting up money or doing something that, if you fail at, can literally put you in debt for the rest of your life. That type of level, the majority of people don't want. So when I sit down with my sales team, or I sit and I talk to people about this, everyone needs to come to terms with what level they want to be at. I think a lot of people in the world would be happy being level 1. Can I drive a nice Mercedes? Can I live in a nice neighborhood? Can I enjoy nice dinners with my family? And can I take solid trips to Disney World every year? A lot of people want that. Then there's the next level of people that they want the VIP class. They want to be able to have a Lamborghini. They want to be able to have nice things, a lake house. Level 3, you're untouchable. This is like where I think the world changes for you, where You now can afford private charter jets. You now can buy multiple houses. Is that the level you want, or do you want to go past that? And so anyway, the point of this video is just which level do you want to be at? Figure out for yourself. Which one makes the most sense for me? Are you really willing to sacrifice a decade of your life and work 80 hours a week to get to that level 3 or level 4? Or would you probably be fine at level 1 or level 2? And this is where I think so many people don't understand, because they see people on social media with jets and yachts and all that cool stuff, and they think, well, I want that. And then you go and you try to do what it takes to get there, and you realize, holy crap, maybe I don't want that. And so how do you build the life you actually want? It first starts by knowing where your target is. For some people, again, level 2 or level 3 may be enough. For some people, they want level 5 and they can't live without getting to level 5 in their life. And so your takeaway should be, which one do you want to be at? And there's no wrong answer. This is what you want to sacrifice to get to. What are you willing to go through to take care of your family, your friends, your future, your people in your life? And a lot of people, like I said, I think they're happy with level 1 and level 2, and that's totally fine. That's why there's only 3,000 people at level 5, because there's not a lot of people that are willing to do those kind of things. So for you, what level are you at? Comment down below and tell me, what level of wealth do you really want to get to? What are you willing to sacrifice? Level 1, are you willing to sacrifice a few years of college, maybe a few years of learning under somebody else, a few years of business struggle, and then boom, you kind of got what you got. Maybe it takes you got to sacrifice your 20s, but by your 30s, you're set. For level 5, you're going to sacrifice probably from your 20s to your 50s, but then by the time you're 60, you may be a multi-billionaire. So what level do you want? Comment down below and let me know what you think about these levels, if I'm kind of off here, if maybe there's new levels that I didn't think about. But this is kind of the things that I go through with some of my salespeople or some people close to my life. I ask them, what level do you want to be at? And this gives a lot of clarity to what are you aiming for, how hard are you willing to work, and what things do you need to do to accomplish the levels you're trying to get to. Thanks for watching. See you next video.